Hey guys, welcome. It's Robert Blackman, president of Fleece Cafe, and today's a really interesting motivational video for you because I think that all of us need to uh, be be looking to self-develop. All of us in our lives. The old Jim Rohn quote: "If you want things to be better, you've got to become better." And one of the fortunate things that I've had at age 58, I've had 40 years of experience. And that experience goes from being a distributor, goes from being a company owner at Profit Leads. We've owned Profit Leads since 2001, so we've owned that company for almost 19 years, and it's a network marketing company. We've been a consultant. The great thing about being the consultant is that you get to go in and you get to meet with the presidents, the CEOs, the investors, the CFOs, the field trainers, the customer service people. And when you get to meet with these people, they're kind of looking around and they kind of go, "Now don't tell him I told you this, but this is what's really happening." And you go, "Wow." It's the emperor has no clothes. And so by gaining this 40 years of experience, you'll notice that I have tons of content. I have tons of antidotes. My kids go, "Oh my gosh, here goes dad again, going to monologue for an hour," because of the fact that I just have so much knowledge. And what I want to share with you today is what one of my mentors shared with me. And at first I was offended. At first I wanted to quit just because he asked me this question, because I took offense to it. And after about a day or two and sharing it with my wife, I realized that, you know what, he was right. And so here was this question to me, just out of the blue. One day we were driving in the car, and got kind of quiet, and I was kind of bitching and complaining about certain things. I didn't like how the company was doing stuff, and I was saying, they're making it difficult to even promote the program because of XYZ. And I was kind of going on a mini rant, hoping to get some sympathy from him and hoping that he would go, "You know what, Robert, you're right. Let's call the company, and if they don't change, we're going to go to somewhere else." And he was quiet for a second after I kind of went on a little rant. And we had about an hour drive. So, I knew he was going to answer me eventually. And I just thought he was working up this great answer. And he says, "Robert, let me ask you a question. Are you a chicken or are you a pig?" And I just went I go, "What?" And he goes, "Are you a chicken or a pig?" And I go, "I'm neither. What are you talking about? Chicken? I'm not scared. Pig? I'm not some dirty animal that, lays around and eats in the mud. What are you referring to?" So immediately my flags went up. I took offense. And he goes, "Well, have you ever had a ham and egg breakfast?" And I said, "Well, certainly. Yeah." And he goes, "Well, we just had one this morning," because we did. He and I had stopped by an IHOP, and we had gotten together early because we knew we had a trip to go show the plan. So we had stopped at an IHOP, and I go, "Yeah, just this morning you saw I had, ham and eggs." He goes, "Well, so did I." And I go, "What does that have to do with a chicken or a pig?" He goes, "Well, think about it for a second." And I go, "I have no clue." He goes, "Look, the chicken participated in the breakfast, but the pig was committed." And I sit there for a second and I go, "What? Say that again." He goes, "In your breakfast this morning you had, the chicken participated by laying the egg, but the chicken was able to walk away. The pig, on the other hand, was committed. He actually gave himself 100% to the breakfast, and he's not coming back. He's totally committed to your breakfast." And I go, "Ah." So I sat there and I go, "I get your analogy. So what you're calling me is a chicken?" He goes, "Yeah. You're just laying eggs and you're leaving." And he goes, "Name one company that is perfect. Name anybody who runs a company that is perfect." And I said, "I don't know of any, but I know that if we went to this other company, they got a better pay plan." He goes, "Yeah, maybe, maybe not." And well, so numerically, I was talking to him about doing it. He goes, "Well, that's true." He goes, "So what happens if you leave?" I go, "Well, we're going to take my team with me, and we're all going to make more money." And I go, "And you're going to live happily ever after?" He goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, then just leave." He goes, "We'll turn around right now." And I go, "No, no, I won't. I'm not going to leave today. We have this meeting." And so it just, the whole meeting and the whole time and the drive back, I didn't say anything else about it. He didn't say anything else. We acted like there was nothing going on. And it really sunk into me. My first, and this was, gosh, this was back in the 90s. I started in 1980. So I had been in the business about 15 years. And it had taken me 5 years to make my first $1,000 check. Now, in that 5 years, I want you to write this down. In that first 5 years, I had joined 25 different programs, 5 a year. Now, a lot of them I joined because I was in the printing business, and here's what we did, because not only did we print for our downline, we printed brochures, envelopes, sales letters, postcards. So we would go to our team and we would say, hey, we've got, and I wrote ad copy. So we had this whole system, a direct mail system set up. And so what I would do is I would go to magazines. I would go to card decks. These were, card decks were a little cellophane wrap of postcards, usually 80 to 100 postcards that came in. And so I would call the other advertisers. And I go, hey, my name is Robert Blackman. My ad's on page 72. Or if you look through the card deck, my card was the 20th card. And we are in the printing business. And I was calling to see if we couldn't earn your business and see if we couldn't save you some money so you could buy wholesale from us. Well, a lot of these ads in the magazines and the card decks were other network marketing companies. I didn't realize that at first. I was just kind of going in traditional business mode saying, hey, I got these employees, I got this other overhead. Sure, I'm making money in network marketing, but wouldn't it be great to have all these other customers? So that was just a sales technique. So through that, I had people that go, well, yeah, we're in network marketing, and would you come and print for our team? So then I found myself writing ad copy for 10, 15 different network marketing companies and providing envelopes, sales letters, self-mailers, postcards for all these different people. And then, of course, the conversations came and said, Robert, if we're going to give you all of our printing business, you're going to need to join with us. And I go, sure. So I took spots in all these different companies never with the intention of building them, but only with the intention of selling printing. So I had to attend conference calls. I was the weekly guy. Says, yeah, we got the printing and the system guy on Saturday mornings or Thursday nights. And here's Robert Blackman. And I do my little spiel about direct mail. And then people would place orders. I'd pay the upline a commission off of that. And then we made money. We were doing very well. We've made millions of dollars with that technique. And so what I learned from that is, out of those 10 or 15 or even 20 companies that we were printing for, that I would talk to the reps. And I'd had the chicken and the pig conversation already told from my mentor. And I got to listening to all these people. And I got to listen to all of them complaining. And what I now call, what I thought at the time was just whining and being baby whiners and crying and complaining. And it was the pay plan. It was the shipments were late. It was the price of the product. It was the system. It was customer service. It was the company owner. They didn't like him, what he said on calls, or the CEO, or, we could never, ever, find the guy. And so I came home one night and I go, you know what? I've been talking to chickens all day. And my wife goes, what are you talking about? And I go, I don't think I found one pig in the lot of them. And I go, so these businesses, and this is the printing guy talking, I go, we cannot rely on these network marketing people to continue to buy all of the printing, because you have to gear up. If you're going to print for 10 or 15, 20 different companies, we had inventory where we'd have our warehouse full of stacks of company A, company B, company C. And we had to stock this stuff in advance on people on the hope and prayer that they were going to buy. And that's why I got on conference calls. That's why I gave out my phone number and talked to people and took their credit card over the phone for $200, $300, $500, $1,000 worth of printing. And then we got into placing ads. And so we were co-oping, okay? We were co-oping not only the printing, but postcards and card decks and magazine ads. And it just became a business within a business. And so I said to myself, these people are so flaky. that there's no way I'm going to put a lot of inventory in on company C, because I've already talked to several of the leaders and they're already talking about, Robert, can you do printing for us in another company? Don't tell our upline, but we're getting ready to leave because the product's always late, or our checks are wrong, or we don't like the back office, or the product doesn't work, or the pay plan doesn't pay. Now we've been in it for 4 months. And so through that whole training, it was basically a training of human psychology within our profession. And I found myself, I go, myself included, and I started saying to myself, I'm a chicken too. And so I started associating and started to search out for people that were in a company longer than 3 months or 6 months, or weren't in 5 programs every year like I was, and trying to build 3 or 4 at a time, which is spinning plates. You got to get this one spinning, this company, and then you go to this one, then you go to that one, and then you got to rush back over here because you didn't return their call, and somebody found out you're in another deal, and you get called to corporate. I've been terminated like 4 times in my career of doing multiple programs just because somebody told on me. I never tried to recruit somebody from company A to company B. Now with social media, it's almost impossible not to have somebody seen that they're cross-recruiting. That's why we have the Bill of Rights. Sherry and I totally believe in the fact that you have the ability to do more than one network marketing program. And so we will never terminate you for that. And so what it all came down to when I started talking to these leaders, there were a couple of things, 2 or 3 things that were common, regardless of whether it was a man or a woman, regardless how old the person was, regardless of their experience, regardless of the pay plan, regardless of the products, regardless of the system. All of them said this: I stayed in when everybody left when times were tough. I'm going to say that again. I stayed in the program and didn't move and go with everybody else, and I wasn't a jumper when everybody else left and people just rolled up to me. And oddly, Robert, because I stayed in for so long, in 2 or 3 years, all the people that left eventually came back. And I go, well, why did you stay in? What kept you? What made you to be a pig? And I would tell these leaders the chicken and the pig story, and egg and the ham and egg story, and they all loved it. None of them had ever heard it. They said, I want to steal that, and I want to use that. And I go, well, I've stole it myself. So it just became a revelation. And I think after 40 years, I think a lot of you will see Robert puts out a lot of content, but you know what? He seems to be calm all the time. And I'm kind of like the John Elway. When as I always say, when the what goes down, you want me around. And I think it's just the comfort. I have a comfort at Felice Cafe because of my 40 years of experience. And I know that the people who come in the business originally probably won't be here in 5 to 10 years. I know I will, because I'm a pig. I'm committed. We're financially committed. We're 40 years committed, and Sherry's 22 years committed, that we're no longer going to be distributors, primarily distributors. We're going to be company owners in Felice Cafe. So we're a pig. And we know we're going to have a lot of chickens come in, because guess what? I was a chicken for a number of years. I was waiting for everything to be perfect. And if it wasn't perfect, then I went somewhere else. And what I had become, a self-realization, which was hard to realize at the time, I only realized this later, is I became what I call a broke expert. A broke expert. Robert Blackman was broke, but I was an expert at network marketing. And I wasn't making any money. Or if I was spending more money on advertising and the meetings and the products and everything. At the end of the month, I spent more than I made. If I made $1,000, I was spending $1,100. So I was a broke expert, though. I was an expert on pay plans. I was an expert on ingredients and products. I was an expert on ad copy. I was an expert on websites. I was an expert on customer service. And since I had a manufacturing background, I was an expert on shipping. If something was late or something was out of stock or they raised the price or changed the CV or the pay plan, I was out. And so when the leaders told me, the number one thing, they said, I stayed when everybody else left. And I got that. And I said, but how did you have the vision to know? And guess what? Two of these people that I am still friends with today, good friends with, are both making over $1 million to $1.5 million a year. And one of them has been in the company for 15 years. And he even had gone out after 5 years and told the company owner, I'm going to go be a master distributor of a startup. And he says, and the company owner said, look, just don't attack the people and we'll keep paying you. So that company kept paying him. And then he eventually left that other company as master distributor because he didn't get along with the company owner. And he came back to the original company and he went and built it to a $1.4 million a year business as of today. And the other gentleman had been in multiple programs. I'm going to interview him this month online. And he was in total credit card debt. And he finally found a company that he stuck with. So both of them told me, number one, we stayed when everybody else left. And I go, but why didn't you leave? I go, why did other people leave? And they go, well, per your conversation, Robert, they were chickens. They weren't committed. And I said, why weren't they committed? They go, well, there were problems. And I go, with these bad problems? And I go, well, to some people, if something's not shipped in 24 hours, it's a problem. Other people question everything about the compensation plan, about their rank advancement, about Johnny didn't go underneath the right person. There's just customer service didn't call me back. They hung up on me accidentally, and then I got voicemail. So he goes, there's all types of things that both these gentlemen said. And I said, okay, well, why did you really stay? Come on, tell me. And here's what both of these $1 million earners told me. They go, I like the owners. I believed in the owners. And that's number two. Number one, they stayed when everybody else left. Number two, they liked the owners. And number three, here's the punchline for you today. And what we're wishing and hoping that you'll stay with us for, that they had a cause. Number three is the cause, a movement. They believed in what they were doing, and that they had talked to the company owners several times, or had met them in person, or had talked to them on the phone. The company owners helped them, and they liked them, but they liked their cause, their movement, what they stood for. And they didn't want to leave the company because they couldn't find that cause and that relationship that they had with the company owners anywhere else. So they stayed when other people left because of the owners and because of the cause. And so here's where I am today for everyone that's listening to this, where you're listening to this live, or you're listening to this in March of 2020, or you're listening to this in March of 2025. It doesn't matter. The message is the same. Come work with us at Felice Cafe. We've already had problems, and we're going to continue to have problems. But as we get going, like every startup, the problems start out here, and then they start getting less and less and less because we have employees. We have people who make mistakes, who don't understand how to do things in the back office, don't know how to cut a check properly and then mail it out. As simple as that seems, it's complicated at sometimes. How to ship products, how to get the inventory correct. We changed formulas. We ran specials and things didn't go out. We've had our fair share of issues. We've lost people. Listen, we did a pre-launch, and only about 17% of the people who signed up for free in the pre-launch actually bought something once we did launch. And we had people that, had brought in, one guy brought in 1,500 people, another one brought in 500 people, and they were on calls with us. We were doing 3-ways every day. We were slamming people in, and come launch time, they were crickets. They were gone. And the reason that they were gone, I have no idea. But they weren't committed to Sherry and I, and they weren't committed to our cause. because they hadn't even tried the product yet, and they hadn't even had a chance to see if the compensation plan did what we said it would do. We know it will, because we've been in compressed compensation plans and we've made millions of dollars. I've written the plan at Profit Leads and other companies, and I've written the plan here at Fleece Cafe. This is my plan. It's not anybody else's. We didn't steal it from somebody. We didn't borrow it. We made this our plan. So we're never changing the comp plan in the first 3 levels. We may add more money below the 3 levels, but I guarantee you we're always going to have a 3-level compressed compensation plan, 5, 40, 10 as a connector 3. That's our cause. That's our movement. Why would I change the movement? It would be like saying a Catholic priest would then immediately that on a Sunday change to be a Baptist preacher. That's not his beliefs. That's not his movement. That's not what he wakes up and he does every day. What I wake up and do every day is I want to help the part-time person make money in network marketing. Why do I want to do that? Because after 40 years since I was 18 years old, I've been in this profession. I've done more than I think anybody's ever done. Maybe there's other people, but I believe I'm one of the most educated and one of the most knowledgeable people of network marketing that you've ever met. If you want to know anything about this business, you give me a call and I'll tell you. That's why when I say go 12 wide, that's not just a made up number. To go 12 wide to find 4. Build a 20 club. 4 who get 4 is $660 a month if all those people are at 100 CV. That's our movement. That's our cause, is to help the part-time person. That's the number one reason that we started Fleece Cafe, is that we saw a void and we saw ourselves making the same mistake over and over and over and over and over again. We found ourselves being in a program every 2 to 5 years. Now, the reason why we left is because our teams left. And although we had causes with products, or we had causes with systems, it was a free enrollee system. We love the internet system. We love the sampling system. We love the ingredients in the product. But here's what we didn't love: the money, the compensation plan. We had people that were always spending more money than they made. And when our team, who were part-time, 95% of them, were plugged into a full-time income model for the 5%ers, and Sherry and I have been 5%ers all of our life. Sherry and I were making money, but our team wasn't. And I'm going to tell you what, after about 20 years of that, where you become mature enough and you start going, you know, we're making good money, and every program we join, we eventually, within 6 months to a year, are full-time, making 6 figures because of our systems, because of our availability, because we do calls, because we hustle. We dare people to outwork us. We work harder than anybody else because we're passionate. But here's what we were never passionate about. We were not passionate about the compensation plan for our downline. So when Sherry and I decided to jump in and be company owners, again, in addition to Profit Leads, is Sherry goes, so what's the pay plan going to be? And I looked at her, I go, you already know. And she goes, a compressed compensation plan. I go, yes. She goes, I like it. And she goes, I wouldn't do it any other way. And she goes, you've already got the comp plan written. And I pulled out a yellow pad, and it was on 1 page. And if you go look at our 1-page compensation plan, that is what I wrote out in about 15 minutes, because I already knew it, because I'd had 40 years to write that comp plan. Do you understand the significance of that? I'd had 40 years to decide we're going to start a company and we're going to create a movement of helping the part-time person. That's our passion. And that's what I'll do until I go to my grave. And that's what Sherry's going to do until she goes to her grave. And that's what our kids will do until they go to their grave, because we have 5 of them. And this is going to be a family business. 2 of them, who are, one's 22 and one's 24, are already involved in helping them in the business. One in the accounting end of it and the other one in the social media part of it. So we're grooming them to do Felice Cafe full time, to take over whenever we're dead and gone or we want to retire. And I know I'm not going to retire because on my deathbed, I'm going to be doing a 3-way call. I'm going to be doing one of these video rants. And the kids are going to be going, and my wife, Sherry's going to be going, honey, stop. You're about to die. And I go, but I'm passionate. I have to help somebody make part-time income because they're putting in part-time effort because they've got lives. Network marketing, the concept of the business model itself is that anybody can do it. It's like Ratatouille in the movie. You know, if you ever seen the cartoon, we've got kids, we watch a lot of these type of movies. Ratatouille, what does the guy say? Anyone can cook. Well, here's what I'm saying. Anyone can build a 20 club. Anyone can make $660 a month. I'm the Ratatouille of network marketing. I love to build 20 clubs. I love to talk to people who call me up and say, I got a $327 check today, Robert, and my wife and I are sitting here and we're emotional. I go, what's the deal? And they go, we've been in network marketing for 5 years and we've never made this big of a check. Thank you. Thank you for paying out more money than any other company does. Paying out 5, 40, 10, 55% because they realize it. They go, our other compensation plan was so complicated, we didn't even know how to explain it. And when we met you, Robert, and we laid the 20 club over our previous company's compensation plan, we were shocked. We were making $80 or $120. Some were $200 or $300, but none of them could touch 4 who get 4 at $660. And now we get it why everybody left. Now we get why we left those companies because we were spending more than we were making. So thank you. That's our commitment to you. That's our cause. That's our movement. We could be selling beef jerky. We could be selling dog food, okay? Healthy dog pet food. We could be selling, window cleaner. And it matters. The product matters, but it doesn't matter because when you have a movement like we're creating, you can sell anything. Not that the product is secondary. The product's got to be good. Yes, you've got to get customers. You've got to have customers who have repeat business with you. Yes. You've got to do that. You can't have a product that people get sick on. That was our first product. Then we made it milder, and now we've got people that say it's too mild, and they're leaving. So the people who got sick left, the people when we changed the formula, because for those people, they didn't get sick, it didn't work for them, they left. They weren't into our cause or our movement because nobody shared that with them. Nobody saw this video. Nobody talked to me before they left or Sherry. They didn't really get into what we were doing. If the product didn't work, they were gone. Even though, here's the catch, even though we have a comp plan that says you never have to drink coffee. If you're not a coffee drinker, or if you're, love the coffee you have and you try ours and you don't like it, or you didn't feel anything, or you got the jitters, you don't have to buy it personally. You don't have to kick it in the garage. And that's what I call garage qualified. Go out and look in your garage. Do you have any products from previous network marketing companies in a box? I do. I got stuff that's 10, 15, 20 years old. And Sherry goes, why don't you throw that stuff away? And I go, it's nostalgia to me that these are the companies that I joined because of the product, but I didn't take the product, all of it, because there was only so much I could personally consume, but I was having to buy $150 or $300. We were buying for multiple positions to stay qualified, right? None of that stuff happens here. This is the movement we have. There's no distributor kit to buy to be a distributor. You become a distributor when you distribute something. And we believe that's so simple, it's groundbreaking, and it's revolutionary in these days. and the times that we're facing right now. That's our movement. We're safe, we're protected because we're customer first. If regulators come in and talk to us, I guarantee you we're going to have 70 to 80% of the people that when they look at the books and they look at the printouts or they look at the computer screens and download the CSV file from our database, they're going to go, man, they've only got like 10, 15, 20% of these people are actually have sponsored anyone that are what they call cafe connectors and what the regulators call distributors. So number one, we're protected that way. So the landscape is moving in network marketing. And if you don't change and adapt, you will die. That's what's going to happen to companies. It's already happened. Advocare bailed out. Vima got shut down, but they've reopened. And BK is a phenomenal person. That's a guy who's passionate and believes in his cause. Can you imagine that? They were doing $20 million a month on average. And he was at home and they came in and shut everything down. You know, people in suits with guns, you know, jackets and guns, raided their office and took their computers and told everybody to go home. And BK was at home and he got the call, froze every one of his checking accounts, personal and business, and had to go to court and lost the court case and had to go with what they said if he was ever going to be in network marketing again. And he's done it. You see, that's a movement. That's a man that has a cause. I would join with BK just because of him. I don't, and if I was looking for a mentor, I would join with him. I wouldn't necessarily care about the product as long as it didn't make me sick. I would take it. And if the comp plan was difficult, well, that's all right. Look at Amway. $8 billion, over $8 billion. You know what the number 2 company does? Half of that approximately. So the way you got to look at that, if the second largest network marketing company, who's around $4 billion, doubled and added another $4 billion, they'd still be in second place. That's why Bill Britt, when he was on stage, when I was in Amway, said, you know what? We're so far ahead, we don't even know who's in second place. That's confidence. That's a movement. The movement with Amway is, if whatever you build here will be there for your family. And guys who want to take care of their spouses and their children and leave a legacy, they buy into the Amway philosophy and their culture. It's not a cult, it's a culture. They buy into that, and Amway has one of the lowest paying compensation plans, and they have some of the highest priced products. And they're number 1. Why is that? Self-development, and there's a movement and cause. Now here's something very interesting for you. I quit Amway, and I was whining and complaining all the time because when we went to conventions, all they talked about was religion and politics. And I said, you know what? I may agree with some of what you're saying, but I didn't join Amway to come in and hear people preach at me and talk about politics. I came into Amway to make money. And if you guys don't stop talking about religion and politics, I'm out. Since I left Amway, they grew by $4 billion without me. How dare them, right? And so you have to look at this, the facts, self-realization. How could people join Amway when all they do is talk about religion and politics? And they have the highest priced products and one of the lowest paying pay plans out there. That's like 3-4 strikes, you're out. I'm amazed they're still in business. And they doubled since I demanded that if they don't change, Robert Blackman, and leaving. Why did they double without me? Because they had a movement, they had a cause. And they attracted people who like talking about religion and politics. And they attracted people who liked the variety of the products and the quality of the products. And the compensation plan was something that they were willing to work 2 years to go direct. 2 years to make $2,000. That's 6 people who get 4 people who get 2. That's called the old 642 plan. You made $2,100 a month. Can you find 6 people that want to take money out of their left pocket, put it in their right pocket, transfer by, and $2,100 a month was their movement and the quality of their products. The pay plan was way over there. Way over there as far as understanding what it took to make 6 figures. Okay? What it really took. They knew 642 and they knew transfer by. When guys came home from the meeting, the wife would go, well, what was it? Well, I forgot the name of the company. I think it started with an A. But all I know, if we find 6 people and they do worse than us and find 4, and they do worse than them and they find 2, that we're going to make $2,100 a month. We know 6 people who'd be willing to buy. Look at this catalog. And boom. And they signed up for $150 because somebody had a kit in the trunk of their car. That's their movement. And I quit that movement because I didn't believe in it. I didn't like their movement. And that's okay. You understand what I'm saying? We're all adults here. It's okay. And your people are going to leave your Felice Cafe business. That's okay. Because they're not going to believe in you. They're not going to believe in me and Sherry. They're not going to believe in our cause. They're not going to believe in our products enough to stay when everybody else leaves. They're not a pig. They're a chicken. You're going to have more chickens on your farm than pigs. And your farm is your organization. And once you realize that and you stop trying to turn chickens into pigs, which most people try to do because they're not 12 wide, they're 1 or 2 wide. And they spend all their time just talking to their downline. I know I did. And why did I talk to just my downline and not go wide? Because it was safe. It was safe to talk to people that were already in. And we got to know them. I knew their cat's name. I knew where they took their honeymoon. I knew where they got married. I knew where they met, where they went to high school. In-depth stuff with 1 or 2 people and just 1 or 2 legs. But I had to go wide, or I had to personally enroll more people. But I was afraid to do that, so I fell into comfort in the organization. But my check never grew. In fact, my check went down as people below me broke pin levels and blocked me. Because I was camping out, and I was just having fun in my business, okay? So Amway, they doubled without me because I didn't believe in their cause or movement. There are going to be people that are watching this that won't believe in me, in Sherry, in our cause, in our movement, and our product. They'll say the pay plan doesn't pay. I had a guy tell me this today. One of the things that prompted this long lecture and long speech and training, knowledge, is he said, Robert, I love what you're doing. I've tried your coffee. I like the ingredients. I've researched them. I love your logo, your packaging. Just look behind me. They go, I love everything about it, but I hate your comp plan. Will you please change it to a binary? If you do, we'll move over $500,000 in volume because we're all looking. The company is faltering and we will move, but we're a binary. And I can't move people from a binary to a compressed unilevel. So Robert, will you change the comp plan and I can bring you in about 3 to 6 months, guaranteed in writing, $500,000 a month in business? And I didn't miss a beat. And I said, no, sir. And he says, why not? I go, because a binary is not my belief system. That's not my movement. A binary is for leaders. He goes, well, that's what you want to build the business, don't you? And I go, yeah, but we're going to grow our own leaders. We're going to have 1,000 people that have a 20 club. We're going to have 1,000 people making $660 or more a month. That's my vision. That's my dream. And that's my cause and my movement and why I get up every single day. I don't get up every single day for guys like you to go make money in a binary. because binaries are built for leaders. They're not built for the part-time person. In fact, I've got an organization in a top 100 network marketing company that there's about $50,000 or $60,000 in volume that I don't get paid a dime on. It's all on one leg. And I still have my sponsor get a hold of me when it's renewal time. And I still buy a few of their products that we like. We support the company. We support the profession. We support our upline. My sponsor, he's a friend of mine. He goes, Robert, if you built another leg out, your check would be so. I just figured it out. And I said, thank you very much, but that's not my cause or my movement of having a business to where if it's $50,000, it's almost, well, it's $600,000 a year. I go, and what other business model can I have $600,000 a year in sales and I make zero on it? I go, that's just not my belief. I'm not into that anymore. I chased that forever. It's not an indictment of the binaries. They're just not my cup of tea, just like religion and politics being preached at the conventions when I was just in Amway to make money. That's not my cup of tea. Binaries aren't my cup of tea. That is the reason why right now we don't have a couple $1 million a month in business. If I had made deals and if I had sacrificed my values and what I believe in and what Felice Cafe is truly about, the movement that we're creating, it's the 20 Club movement. If I had said yes, we'd be doing $1 million to $1.5 million in business right now, just after 4 months. Still got these people calling me. Are you sure? I took a silent spot in your pay plan, and you know what? I just don't think it's going to pay. And I go, look, I made over $10 million in compressed compensation plans, so I know they pay. And I got names of other people that built a compressed compensation plan. And I can give you names of tons of part-time people that are still in them, that are making $200, $300, $500, $1,000 a month, because everyone's part-time. We have part-time people in a full-time income model, and we wonder why they quit. If you get in to make money and you lose money, what do you have to do? You got to stop the bleeding. That's the cycle, folks. After 40 years in the business, I can tell you that's what I call the psychosis cycle of network marketing. And you can claim that you heard it from me. That was my psychosis cycle. I'd get in program after program thinking it would be different, but that's the definition of insanity. Is I kept doing programs and my team just would be like sand through my hands, just like a time in a bottle. It just I kept flipping it over, and this product will work. Oh, this company name is cool. Oh, I love this system. But we put them all, everybody, we put 95% of our team who were part-time into a full-time income model, and we were trying to make the compensation plan, which was a chicken, turn the plan into a pig. We tried to dress it up. We tried to put lipstick on that pig, but it was just a chicken. So we could not anymore go out and build a program based upon us knowing in 5 years it was going to fall apart, or we were going to have to be constantly putting in new people to replace those people that left, that we could never, ever have any more time freedom. Because that's why we got into network marketing, to be free on the 15th of the month. You guys have heard that story where we get a check on the 15th and it pays for all of our bills. And then we have fast start checks coming in, and that's our running around money. So we wanted time freedom. We wanted to be free. We wanted our network marketing check to pay all of our bills and put enough money away for taxes and retirement. That's why we did it. And we could do it, but our team couldn't. So when our team left, our freedom on the 15th left over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's why we have a compressed compensation plan. That's why we'll never change it. Never, ever change it. I don't care if somebody came to me and wanted to pay me $1 million tomorrow, because that's not, after 40 years, the truth. I know the truth. It's 95% are part-time. The other truth is they'll quit because they won't be able to make enough money. Within 3 to 6 months, they're going to quit because they're not going to be able to make more than they spend. and they're forced to do an auto ship, whether they like the products or not. Not here. What was it? Somebody's told me the other day a joke. He told me, he said, I don't drink coffee, Robert, but I'm going to promote your program anyway. And I baited him and I said, well, what do you say to the people that says you got to be a product of the product, and if you don't believe in the product, you can't sell it? He goes, you remember the movie series Married with Children? I go, yeah. And he goes, with Al Bundy? He goes, yeah. He goes, what did Al Bundy do? I go, he sold women's shoes. I go, did you ever see Al wearing the shoes? And I said, no. And he goes, I'm Al Bundy. I don't need to drink the coffee to make money. He didn't need to wear the women's shoes to make money off selling shoes. He goes, I'm a salesperson. I'm a capitalist. I'm an entrepreneur. I like your message. I like what you're doing. It makes sense. Everything you're telling me is true, and nobody is talking about this but you, Robert. That's our movement. That's what we want you to get behind and come join us today and stay with us. We want you to be the person that says, why am I making $10,000 a month in Felice Cafe? Because I stayed when everybody else left. Well, why'd you stay? I liked Robert and Sherry. Well, okay, I get that, but why else did you stay? Because I believed in their cause of helping the part-time person where other companies wouldn't do it. That's why we stayed when things were tough at Felice Cafe. So that's my message to you. That's what turned me in from a chicken to transform it into a pig, where I became totally committed to what we were doing. And we are totally committed to our compressed compensation plan, and also to a product line of coffees and anything you would buy at a cafe. We're not done, folks. We've just begun. We didn't launch with 10 products because mathematically you can't do that and make money. You got to launch with one, build a customer base, come out with the second one, build a customer base, find out what they want, and you manufacture it. That's the business. So anyway, I'm losing my voice because I've been on the phone all day long. Guys, gals, I love what I do, and I'm going to do it to the day I die. Why don't you do the same and come with us at Felice Cafe? Come join our cause. Come join our movement, or what I like to say, come join the revolution, because we're going to create one, and we want you to be a part of that. Thanks a lot, and let me know what we can do to help you guys.